Good afternoon. My name is Corinne Geller, Public Relations Director for the Virginia State Police. With us here today, we have the Secretary of Public Safety for Virginia, Brian Moran, joined with the Northampton County Sheriff, David Dowdy. Behind me is Superintendent of the Virginia State Police, Colonel Steve Flaherty, and then we have our Chesapeake Division Commander for the Virginia State Police, Captain Bob Chappell, and we also have representation with the Virginia Department of Emergency Management. I want to provide you with an update. We do have several new updates for you regarding this morning's deadly tornado that struck the Northampton County here in the Eastern Shore. The National Weather Service has confirmed, they were out here this morning and have confirmed that this was a tornado, classified as a T1. And we also, sadly, still have 2 confirmed deaths at this time. Those deaths took place here at the campground. 31 individuals were transported to Riverside Hospital here on the Eastern Shore. 1 individual was transported to Norfolk Centera. Norfolk Centera. 1 was flown to VCU Medical Center in Richmond and is still being treated there as well. And 3 were transported to Children's Hospital, the King's Daughters in Norfolk. Now, the first call came in at 8:31 Thursday morning to the Northampton County Sheriff's Office concerning a severe storm and what had been seen as a funnel cloud at the Cherrystone Campground in the community of Cheriton. About 8:48, State Police, we received a call about an overturned tractor trailer on Route 13 in Northampton. Tractor trailer was traveling southbound, and the driver says next thing he knew, he saw the funnel cloud. It struck his tractor trailer, it knocked him over on its side and into the median. Fortunately, the tractor trailer driver suffered just minor injuries, was transported to the local hospital. As law enforcement and rescue crews from around Northampton County responded to the campground, they encountered a number of downed trees and downed power lines across Cherrystone Boulevard as they made their approach to the campground. Several trees snapped and not only fallen across the roadway, but it also fallen onto some of the tents, the campers, and the cabins here at the campground. This morning there were 1,328 adults and children here at the campground with an additional 40 staff members. Throughout the morning, Northampton County deputies and Virginia State Police troopers have been going literally door to door, camper to camper, tent to tent to make sure that all of those individuals are accounted for, and every one of them has been accounted for. According to witness reports and to the damage, and based on the investigation conducted by the National Weather Service, the tornado actually came in off the bay from a southwest corner of the campground, proceeded northeast through the campground, and then actually made kind of a V and started heading back southeast and cut back through the campground. And there's very visible damage where you can see the tree lines which have been struck. And it seems right now that most of the damage is contained to the campground. Nothing really beyond it, other than the tractor trailer being struck there on Route 13. Anything east of Route 13, there's been no reports of damage or any additional injuries outside of the campground and where the tractor trailer was struck. A tree did fall on 2 tents. One of the tents contained husband and wife, both 38 years of age. They are from Jersey City, New Jersey, and they both died at the scene. Their 13-year-old son was in a neighboring tent. Another tree fell on that tent. He was one of those 3 that were transported to Children's Hospital, the King's Daughters. He has life-threatening injuries. At this time, he is still alive. I know there's been reports that there are 3 confirmed fatalities. Right now, we only have 2 confirmed fatalities and 1 with life-threatening injuries, and that would be their son. And I'll provide you with their names here shortly. The 256 or so remaining individuals here at the campground, they were bused over to a shelter set up by Northampton County. That was at the Northampton County High School. And those individuals have been allowed to return throughout the day and are still coming in to be able to reclaim their items. Of course, a lot of activity has been going on through the day as those power lines are removed, trees have been cut down and removed, and it's safe for those individuals to come back and claim their personal items and belongings and so forth. There's been an incredible response of resources today. Obviously, the Northampton County Sheriff's Office, the Virginia State Police, as well as the Accomack County Sheriff's Office. You have all area volunteer fire and EMS from Northampton County, as well as Accomack County, all local town police departments in Northampton County. Virginia Marine Resource Police, Department of Game and Inland Fisheries Conservation Police, the U.S. Coast Guard, Tiptokee State Park Police, as well as the Virginia Department of Emergency Management and the Virginia Department of Transportation. All of those agencies have been represented here today, involved in either responding, rescue, clearing the areas, and so forth. At this time, I will spell the names of the two deceased, as their next of kin has been notified. The husband, who is 38 years of age, his first name is Lord, L-O-R-D. Last name is B as in boy, A-L-A, T as in Tom, B as in boy, A-T. B-A-L-A-T-B-A-T. His wife is Lolabeth Ortega. Lolabeth, one word, L-O-L-A-B-E-T-H, and Ortega, O-R-T-E-G-A. They were husband and wife. Their 13-year-old son is the one with the life-threatening injuries at the Children's Hospital in Norfolk right now. I'd like to turn it over now to Secretary Moran, and then we'll field any questions you all have. Secretary.
Thank you, Corinne, and good afternoon. On behalf of Governor McAuliffe, let me first say we want to express our condolences for those, the family members and the loved ones of those who lost their lives this morning. We also pray for a speedy and complete recovery for those who suffered injuries from this morning's storm. I've had the opportunity to tour the campgrounds and observe the devastation that the storm wreaked on this campground. Large trees split in half. We are thankful actually that there was not even more damage to people. There is certainly a great deal of property damage. So we certainly express our condolences and pray for a speedy recovery of those who were injured. Second, let me express our thanks to our first responders. And we're very proud of the Virginia Way here in the Commonwealth. And this morning, that Virginia Way was on complete display. Immediate response by our local law enforcement officers, represented today by Sheriff Dowdy. His team immediately responded along with our volunteer fire department here in Northampton, as well as our Virginia State Police. Trooper Chappell and his team responded so ably and quickly, led by their terrific superintendent of the state police, Colonel Steve Flaherty, as well as others. I understand the Coast Guard was here this morning, representatives from the VMRC. A quick professional response by our first responders to make sure that those who were located in this campsite were removed and brought to safety here in Northampton. So we really want to express our gratitude to them, that our men and women in uniform display great courage, and this morning it was certainly on display. So I should want to mention the governor will be here tomorrow morning. He is cutting his out-of-state travel short so that he can be here tomorrow morning to express personally his gratitude to our first responders and his condolences to the family that was affected by this tragic storm this morning. So again, I want to thank Colonel Flaherty and his team from the Virginia State Police, Jeff Stern from the Virginia Department of Emergency Management, and sheriff and law enforcement here, working together in a combined fashion to save lives and protect those who were subject to great danger this morning. Thank you.
Do y'all have any questions?
Brian, I have a question.
Yeah.
So the truck driver is over on Route 13,
Yes.
correct? You said the tornado basically came in and did a V over at the campground. Are we talking about the same tornado? Or was
Yes.
it two tornadoes?
And you can actually see from even here, you can see where the treetops are clipped as it bounced its way over to Route 13. And based on witness accounts and what the truck driver told us, it was very heavy rain at the time. He had low visibility. It actually slowed down, and the next thing he knew, he was on the side, and he saw the funnel cloud coming at him. So we have determined that his tractor trailer was struck by the, maybe not immediately struck, but in that funnel it was definitely blown over and did have somehow make contact with the tornado.
We heard that people were being allowed back in 20 campsites at a time. Could you just clarify who can go back in tonight?
Well, we're working with those folks, those that are still at the shelter, and it's being done very methodically as they go through. They've got to clear the way. They've got to make sure it's safe for them. There aren't any power lines that are in the way, any trees and so forth, giving them the best access possible to their campers or their cabins or their tents. And so it's being done very methodically, and our folks are working with them. Red Cross is here also to help those folks, and so it's being done, and we're working with them to bring them in. If you've seen the school buses, the Northampton County public school buses are being utilized to bring folks back and forth and let them get access to their belongings as quickly as possible. But it is a bit of a very methodical process. We want to make sure it's safe for everybody and nobody can be harmed in the process.
The Department of Emergency Management tweeted an hour ago that there were 3 fatalities. Was that just a mistake?
It was, yes. There are just 2 confirmed fatalities at this time. If that changes, we'll make sure and let you guys know via email. And if there's any other changes or updates, we'll let you know as well. At this time, we're not allowed to let you guys in there because there's still a lot of cleanup going on. Power crews are in there. They're cutting up the trees and so forth, so it's not safe. Maybe at some point we may be able to give you access. You should have gotten photographs that we emailed out. We snapped some inside for you and sent those out with the notice. But at this point, we can't let anyone have access inside. It's not safe for everybody yet. Okay?
Corinne, if you covered this, I apologize. Do you have any information from the Weather Service whether the funnel cloud touched the ground or was it grazing through the treetops?
I don't know. You have to check with the National Weather Service. All I can confirm is that they have confirmed that it was a T1 tornado that came through. And based on our witness accounts and the damage is how we were able to kind of follow its path as it came through.
Also, Corinne, the signs on the road are saying the campground is closed. For anybody who's coming to the campground, do you have any idea what we should tell them to not come? Do you know whether it's going to be closed for a while?
I don't know. We'll check on that for you with the campground managers and find out if there's some way we can get some information, help them get that out for you. Mm-hmm.
Can you confirm the numbers? How many people were on the campground at the time?
Yes. There were about 1,300, 1,328 adults and children were campers, and then 40 staff members were here also at the time. Now, that's not maximum capacity. From what I'm told, July 4th weekend they had almost 4,000 here. So it's a fairly large campground.
So how many are still there, and how many, what's happened to those people?
Well, they've been transported. Those that were not injured, yes, and even those that have been treated and released. Many of those 31 that were transported to Riverside have already been treated and released. They're providing shelter for them at the high school, along with Red Cross assistance, and we're working with them to allow them to come back in and get what they need and leave.
Stay at the shelter tonight?
I don't know. We'll check into that. And we are asking media's respect for those folks, not to go into the high school and respect their privacy for that issue.
So has the entire campground been evacuated, or?
Yes. Yeah. They removed the remaining 256 and so forth and took them to the shelter. So yes, everybody was removed from the campground originally.
256, so what happened to the 1,000 or so again? Did they leave on their own?
Did they remove everybody? Everybody was? Okay. Everybody was transported out, so we'll work the math out for you. But no, everybody was evacuated for their safety.
Before the tornado? Most of them got off the campground then before the tornado came through, or immediately afterwards?
After the tornado, yes. Yeah. So.
Corinne, as far as the injuries, I know that the young boy has a life-threatening injury. Is there anybody else who has life-threatening injuries?
We've been trying to work on getting some of those condition updates. Some hospitals are a little bit more forthcoming than others. So we're working on that for you. But right now, all I can say is we've got those 35 injured total, from the 31 initially transported to Riverside to the others taken to Norfolk, the Children's Hospital, and VCU Medical Center. That brings a total of 35 injured. 36, that's true, 36, because the 3 were taken to Children's Hospital, the one with the life-threatening injuries. And they range from a scope of minor cuts and bruises to life-threatening injuries.
And the category of the tornado, did you mean F1?
F1, I'm sorry. Yes, F1. Sorry about that.
Corinne, I don't know if this is for you or Colonel or the Sheriff. Can you give us an idea of how many different agencies, personnel, we saw Virginia Beach Rescue here, we saw, can you give us the scope of the amount of troopers, deputies, counties involved in this effort today?
We've had all of our local law enforcement, the local town police departments, the state police, and all the state agencies here on the shore. So it was quite a bit of law enforcement officers here. Probably pretty close to 100 or so.
Have you ever experienced any kind of event like this that needed that type of response?
No, sir. No, sir. No, sir. Any other questions?
All right. Well, thank you guys. guys, like I said,
One last question,
yeah.
I apologize. Just to be sure, has everybody been accounted for? Is there anybody who might still be missing?
No, everybody has been accounted for. Of the 1,328 plus the 40 staff members that were here this morning prior to the tornado, all of them have been accounted for. Deputies and troopers literally went to every cabin, tent, and camper to make sure that everybody was accounted for.
Any word on when everybody will be able to permanently stay? Come back
I
and
said
spend
I'll check in on that and let you guys know. We'll follow up with you via email. Okay? All right. Thank you guys. Appreciate it.